Hello and welcome to the October box reveal. How is it October already? I am so excited about this month. Our fantastic new packaging, which Amy, my designer, has done an absolute dream of designing. She has just been wonderful and I cannot wait to show you what is inside. So in true Blue Peter fashion, here's one I opened earlier. So you open it up and it has some information. It says here, open your box on arrival and store in a cool, dark place until ready to plant your bulbs. So you want to make sure that you're not putting it next to a radiator, you're not putting it in the sunshine. I'd keep it out of like a conservatory, even some potting sheds where the sun comes in. Make sure you put it somewhere nice and shady, somewhere nice and cool, and open it up and just let some air get around the box, just to make sure that the bulbs are staying nice and cool, dry, and ready to be planted. Of course, we get the October leaflet, and you can see Amy's had some fun with this month. And it says here, hello, I'm so excited to reveal the new monthly gardening subscription boxes. So some of you will think, Lizzie, they're not that different, but lots of you who are new won't have had bulbs yet. So I'm so excited to share this box with you. I really hope you enjoy it. I'm sure you will. And I'm so looking forward to bulb planting with you all. I keep saying it's so close, I can almost taste it. Now, some other brands and stuff have sent out their bulbs ages ago and got them planted, but I really, as part of the Rose Bush Garden, always want to send things exactly when they're ready to plant. So now that the weather's getting cooler, we can get everything planted. Look out for the Grow Along online. I'll also email it out to everyone. It'll also be on YouTube, so you can watch along on there, and I'll put it on the email newsletter as well. Plus, this month we get a free gardening lesson. So as part of the change in price, I wanted to make sure that I was always offering you more. So more bulbs, better packaging, continue to do the donation to charity. And I also wanted to include something else because I know so many of you are beginner gardeners and want to learn as much as possible. So this month's topic is going to be pruning. I'm hoping that in future months, I'll be able to kind of plan out the dates and give them to you very much further in advance. But seeing as this is the first one, I just want to see as a little bit of a trial run how it goes. So I'll be sharing it much nearer the time. So date to be confirmed. I have got one penciled in, so I will share it soon with you. And you'll be able to join online. It'll be live, so you can stop and ask me questions at any point. Hopefully lots of you will join, and it's going to be all about pruning because this time of year we're cutting things back, and I know there's so many questions like, do I cut this back? Do I cut that back? There is a video online, but I want to just go through it in a lot more detail. So yeah, we'll be sharing top ways to prune your plants, what to do and when, and there'll be a Q&A session for you to ask away on anything specific in your garden. So it's a really good chance to grill me on anything that's you've been thinking about in your garden. So it says, look out for your email newsletter and on social media for updates about the free session for monthly subscribers with all the information on how to join and when. So I will make sure it's super clear on what to do. And just to reiterate, it is only for current subscribers. It's an exclusive thing for you. Then we've got things to keep you busy this month. So October can be an ever-changing month. I mean, one year, I remember when I went to my university open day at York, and it was on the 7th of October, and it was the hottest day of the year. It was like 34 degrees. So you have that, and then today it's like really super cold here. So October can be a really different month, but it does feel like we're getting the cold side of October this year, doesn't it? But the weather is starting to slow down as the cold weather creeps in, and I definitely feel that in my garden. There's mushrooms popping up and all sorts of stuff. And there's so much to prep and prepare for winter. So flowers are starting to come to the end. We're now starting to think about our gardens for next year. Obviously, if you've been a subscriber for a few months, you've had the July, August box and the September box. So we're feeling really confident that we're going to have the best garden ever next year. And then we really want to make sure things like we've tidied up the garden, that it's looking good, that everything in the greenhouse is getting pricked out and into its own pots, etc. But it's also a really lovely month to spend in the garden because we see the seasons changing. We can have those mindful moments, and it can be a really wonderful month to support wildlife as well, you know, putting bird seed out, etc. So there's a few lists of jobs on here. So empty gone over summer pots and hanging baskets and compost the contents. So if there's any summer pots that you've got, now's the time to get them out, clean the pots, sort them out so that when we get our bulbs, we can plant them in and they're all ready to go. Next one, we can plant bulbs for a glorious display for spring next year, and you can try planting these in a different way, and I will go into the full how-to video on this, but you can do them in small terracotta pots, small plastic pots, you can put them in borders, you can put them into grass. These ones are a really lovely mix that we can kind of try something new with, and that's what I really wanted to do with this month. Now is also a fab time to add colour to any pots, so get your pansies, get your violas, get your cyclamens, and there's polyanthus, and they will have fantastic colour all the way through autumn and winter, and you can plant these on top of your bulbs. So if you've not headed to the garden centre, then make sure you get out and do that. Now's a really good time to plant evergreen shrubs and conifer hedges while the soil is still warm. So we often say that best time to plant is in autumn and spring, because the soil's getting warmer in spring and the soil's nice and warm in autumn. So yeah, if you've got things like hydrangeas you want to plant, now's a brilliant time to do that. If you've got any peony bare roots that have been in pots that you want to get in the ground, now's a good time to do that as well. We want to water plants more sparingly as conditions turn cooler and the days get shorter. Well, with all this rain, we hardly need to water at all. If you haven't already, ensure you sow some sweet peas in deep pots for early flowers next summer. If you have the September box, you'll have these sorted and soon we'll be pinching them. But if you haven't got any sweet peas, then there's a limited edition sweet pea pack on my website. You want to inspect any plants that you bring into the greenhouse over the winter for any pests and diseases. So you really want to make sure that if you're bringing things like, I brought my lemon tree in because it's not going to survive over winter, or if you've got any tropical plants or things like that, make sure that you're kind of really checking them to make sure you're not bringing stuff into the greenhouse. You want to attach gutting to the greenhouse, install a water butt if you can before all the autumn rain comes. You want to clear fallen leaves, wash greenhouse glazing to let as much of that light in as possible. Now that the daylight is kind of getting shorter, we can definitely tell in the mornings, and in the evenings it's getting shorter, so you want to get as much light for those seedlings as possible to make sure they're as healthy as possible. Yeah, move potted citrus plants and fuchsias inside over winter, keeping them cool but frost free. Sow quick growing microgreens such as kale and mustard for nutrient rich pickings in just a few weeks. So it's a really nice time of year just to like get seed sowing again and do that mindful activity, which I love so much. Empty ceramic and glazed pots that aren't frostproof and store in a shed over winter. Now it's really important, if you are going to do that, that obviously the plant is happy to be in as well. Some of them prefer to be outside, so just check that. Now is also a really good time to start thinking about our lawns. I use Sow and Mow lawn care subscription. I found it really has worked wonders for my garden. Obviously, we've had a bit of a shocker with all the heat wave this summer, but it's really made a difference. So I definitely recommend going and checking that. So spike compacted lawns and brush grit into the holes to improve drainage. Now, I know Monty Don is always like, if it's a green lawn, then just leave it green. But I do like to go around with a knife at this time of year and get any perennial weeds, so any kind of thistles or anything like that, dandelions, just try and get as much of the root out as possible at this time of year. Collect up hoses and store indoors over winter so they don't freeze and split. Clean out and disinfect bird boxes. Gather up canes and plant supports that are no longer in use and store indoors over winter. So there you go, that's all of the jobs to keep you busy. So quite a lot of sort of sorting out, tidying, and I think hopefully we'll be lucky with the weekend weather over the next couple of weeks. It'd be amazing if your box is arriving that you can share it with me on Instagram. It makes such a difference to people who are like, oh, should I sign up for the subscription or not? And then they see all of your wonderful boxes arriving. They see the amazing community we've built, and it kind of tips them over the edge to give it a try. So if you can share your box and tag me in it and you're happy for me to share it, then please do. I really, really enjoy seeing you all enjoying your boxes as well. Obviously there's loads more advice on my website blog, loads on my YouTube channel if you want to. Someone said they put it on their main TV, which worried me a bit that I was going to be in like big style. Normally I'm just on the phone, but if you want to do that, then feel free. And obviously, of course, I'm also on Instagram, and I just want to say, like, thank you so much for your support, because it really does mean a lot to me. Starting business from zero with my own money is very stressful, but having you all as part of this journey has just been wonderful, so thank you. Right, let's crack on with what is inside the box. So we obviously have the October leaflet, and I've rambled on for ages, so sorry if you're still watching this, well done. Then we've got the bulbs how to plant and care guide. So this box, this leaflet, has everything in it. And the reason I've done this, I'm not going to lie, is for logistics. Last year I did, if someone ordered an anemone, they got an anemone leaflet. If someone ordered tulips, they got a tulip leaflet. But because there's so many different varieties and different things going on, I just wanted to make sure that you had it all in one place and could refer back to it. And there's even like a notes section at the back to make notes and drawings of where you've planted your bulbs. So yeah, how to plant and care guide has a little spiel from me. Top tips on what to do with your bulb planting. Then obviously it goes into like alliums and anemones, like it should be in alphabetical order. Yeah, they are. And then at the back again, a bit on what to do when your bulbs go over for each variety, and some blurb on there, and then obviously some notes pages as well for you to kind of make notes on what you've planted when, which I think is such a nice little thing to keep. And again, I'm sure you'll agree that Amy has absolutely smashed this design. Is absolutely beautiful. So this is the bit you've all been waiting for, and it's taken me like 9.5 minutes to get to this one, but anyway, these are what are inside the gorgeous box, and I have had so much fun choosing these varieties. You have no idea. So let's go with the first up one that I wanted to include, and that was the Tulip Baccarat Lilac Wonder. And this is the ones, they're basically botanical tulips. They're smaller, so they're like little mini tulips. And I just picked some up in a garden centre a few years ago. Not this variety, because this one's quite unique. But gave it a go, and I put them in terracotta pots. And oh my God, it just brought me so much joy. They last for ages, and lots of you will know that my granddad made me like this little wooden like plant stand in lockdown, which was really kind of him, and I just love putting these on there. So there should be a good chunky handful of botanical tulips. You can also plant these straight into grass, which will look amazing with another product in here, or you can plant them in borders as well, and they'll come back year after year. So I thought this was just something different, something really cool, and just unique that you would have, that maybe you hadn't tried before. And that's the whole point of this subscription box, isn't it? To try things that you might not have tried previously. Then we've got this gorgeous Mascari, and I nearly fainted when I saw this variety. It's so pretty. Normally they're this dark colour all the way up, but this variety had kind of like gradient all the way up from dark blue all the way to pale blue, and I just thought, how stunning. Again, in terracotta pots, they flower like crazy, and they come back year after year. They actually spread quite a lot, so they're very low growing Mascari. So if you put them at the front of borders, they will end up kind of taking over a bit, but sometimes that's a good thing. If you've got an area, maybe in the front garden or something, you just want to kind of cover with some spring joy, then Mascari are fantastic. The bulbs are really small, but don't be put off. They look like little grapes when they flower and are just super stunning. So I'd recommend planting these in pots, or if you're happy for them to spread, plant them at the fronts of borders. Then we've got Mini Iris, and oh my gosh, this variety means so much to me. I plant it every year. It's Iris reticulata, which is the fancy Latin name, but basically just Mini Iris, called Pauline. And oh, they are just stunning. They have the tiniest little flowers. They're only about this big or so, but they are just so beautiful. They come out, well, they're one of the earliest things to come out, always the first thing to flower in my garden because I don't have snowdrops, etc. So these really bring me joy, and whenever I see these flower, I just think, oh, spring is here, the new gardening season's here, bring it on. We've got so much to look forward to. So I had to include these in the box. Now, I was going to keep it at just 3 bulbs because there's plenty of bulbs in there, and that will certainly keep us busy, but I really wanted to add something extra in for you all, just to say thank you for all of your support. So I've added in these 3 large crocuses. So these will be about as tall as this pack when it's folded. Obviously, they're all folded different heights, but roughly. And they're a real pretty mix of colours. And again, these mean a lot to me because last year I was on lots of walks around the garden. I was thinking about what to do with the subscription over the coming months, and in my village here in Norfolk, they planted a whole bank that's a council owned, but they planted the whole thing with these crocuses, and it just took my breath away. It was so stunning. So I just thought, again, I know that you guys are going to absolutely love these. Again, you could grow them in terracotta pots. You can also plant them direct into the ground. They will naturalize over time, which basically means they will kind of repeat themselves and spread and whatever. So these are absolutely stunning. It's a bit of a taster pack. If you wanted like a really big impactful display in the grass, then you probably need to buy some more, but I thought, let's give it a go. Let's see how we get on this year. Give it a try, see if you like them, and then next year you can go big on the grassy crocus in your grass. But I'm actually going to plant all of these, so the botanical tulips, the Mascari, the little mini irises, and these crocuses, all in terracotta pots. I'm going to top them with Shell on Earth, and they are just going to look so lovely. I'm going to as like a little display together, and that was my thought because I know so many of you have ordered bulbs for your borders, and there are border bulbs coming next month, or bulb lasagna pot bulbs next month, and I'll do sneak peeks on that. Actually, the sneak peek is already up if you want to know what's in next month's box. I really wanted to do this as like a little display and get you to try something different that you might not have tried before. And I know that you're going to absolutely love this. And I know it's going to bring so much joy to us all in those dark, dreary February days towards the end of February when those first irises bloom and the first crocuses come out. It's just going to bring us so much joy. So there you go. That is what is in the October box. I hope you love it. I'll also be sharing lots more information about the gardening lesson all about pruning. So get thinking your questions, and I'll make sure I ask ask you all to input them all before the live. I'll confirm the date and how it's going to work and all the setup and everything. You won't miss the date because I'll share it a million times. And just a massive thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy it when your box arrives, and I cannot wait to get planting with you all this weekend.